Hey guys, welcome to another video on budgeting. In this video, I will be answering a question which is called Stack It Limited. This question is a bit more advanced than the one which I did in my previous video, Budgeting an Example. Let's read this question first before I answer this question on Microsoft Excel. The question says that Stack It Limited manufactures 3 sizes of wooden bookcases. The information relating to the production of the 3 bookcases for the next year is as follows. The table in front of us gives us price and the cost data for the 3 products. The 3 products are called small, medium, and deluxe. We have a selling price. Small is the cheapest and deluxe is the most expensive one. Cost of wood is given, direct labor cost, and how many hours it takes per product of small, medium, and deluxe is also given. We can see that deluxe is more time consuming as well as it requires more material as well. Then we have other variable cost of 16, 22, and 33. Product related fixed costs are also given. Anticipated sales volume in units is given. Small is 2000, medium is 1000, and 3000 is for deluxe. So most of the units are in deluxe. Opening inventories of finished goods are also given. Now, because this is a manufacturer, so they are going to have inventories for both raw material and the finished goods. So the question clearly states that these inventories are related to the finished products. Other fixed costs which are not product related for the year are £250,000. Labor cost per hour is £15. That was also given in the table. No inventories of wood, which is raw material, are kept as a local suppliers delivers it within a few hours. This is called a just-in-time system. Closing finished goods inventories. So opening were given in the table above. So in this statement, we are looking at closing now is estimated to be 10% higher than the opening. So if opening was 100, the closing is going to be 110. There is currently a shortage of labor to produce the bookcases next year. Labor hours are limited to 22,500 for next year. A foreign supplier is willing to supply the small bookcases if Stack It cannot meet demand. The subcontract cost of buying in the small bookcases, £75. So that is the purchase cost of the small bookcase from the foreign supplier. The foreign supplier does not produce the other bookcases, so we can only outsource the small bookcase, none of the others. The requirement for these questions are production of functional budgets, just like the previous video I made on this. So sales budget in units and volumes for individual products and the business as a whole. The quantity of bookcases that are needed to satisfy sales demands and reflect the change in the stock level. So that is our production budget. Direct labor hours budget in hours and costs. Depending on our production budget, we will estimate how many labor hours we are required, and then the number and the cost of small bookcases that needed to be purchased from the foreign supplier in order to overcome the shortage of the labor. We would achieve this by comparing how many hours we need in point 3 and then how many available. The question tells us that 22,500 labor hours are available. So we would see that the availability of the labor is less than what we need to meet the demand for all 3 products. Eventually, we will have to buy some of the small bookcases because that is the one which is only available from the foreign supplier. And the last point would be how much raw material we need to purchase. After finding out how many units we are producing and how much we are going to outsource, we would know how much raw material we are going to need to produce our in-house production. So that's all the data we have for the question. So let's solve this question now in Microsoft Excel.
3 products: small, medium, and deluxe. And the first thing which we're supposed to be doing is our sales budget. So in sales budget, basically we need to estimate how many units we are going to sell. And as this is a question, it's not real life situation, so this figure will be given in the question. As in reality, it takes a lot of effort to work out how much our sales are going to be, which is not possible in an exam or classroom question. So we are given our anticipated sales volume in the question. So that is basically our sales budget. So 2,000 for small, 1,000 for medium, and 3,000 for deluxe. So this is our sales budget, and this is in units. Then we can work out our sales budget in price as well. So the price per each unit is also given. Selling price, that's the first information we have on top. Selling price. Oops. Selling price, and that is 90, 180, and 250 pounds. So our sales budget in value is going to be selling price per unit times number of units. Control C, and you can use the same for the rest of the products. We also need the total for the company, so we will have a total column as well, and the total we can find out by adding up these 3 values. So we know that the sales value for the year is going to be 1.11 million. So this is their total inflow from sales. So that's the first figure we have calculated now. Part B says that the quantity of bookcases that are needed to satisfy sales demand and reflect the change in stock levels. So the next item is production budget. How much do we need to produce to satisfy our sales demand? So our starting point is going to be our sales volumes. Which we already got, and then adjustments for the opening and closing inventory. I discussed this quite in detail in the previous question. So basically what you need to do is you need to take away your opening inventory. So less opening inventory, and the amount is given. Opening inventories, stock of finished goods 50, 100, and 80. And 80. We will add and we are told that closing inventories will be 10% higher than our opening inventories. So 55, 10%, 1.1 are 50, 110, and 88. So if you do the maths now, we can find out how many units we need to produce. So production budget, production demand minus opening plus closing. And there we go, we have our production budget. So the next item is our direct labor hours budget in hours and in cost. So raw material and labor budget will be based on how many units we are going to produce, because these are the two elements we need to produce our units. So the next item is labor budget. And again, the starting point is going to be my in this case, production budget. So Control C, and I'll do special case because I don't want formulas. So I got the figures here. Next, what I'll do is how many hours it takes to produce each unit. So labor hours per unit. For small, it takes 1 hour. So that's the third line on the data table. Direct labor 15 1 hour. It takes 3 hours to produce a medium, and it takes 6 hours to produce deluxe. We can multiply these two pieces of information to find out total labor hours. So hours times number of units, and we get our hours. Control C, and 330, and this. Now, if you read the question, you would know that there is an issue with the labor, and we can actually find out how many total labor hours are needed to produce all of our production demand. So by adding these up, I can work out my available hours, and our available hours are 22,500, while we need is 23,083 hours. So here we go, we have a limiting factor if you refer back to our marginal costing, and in this case labor becomes our principal budget factor because that limits the activities of our organization. So available hours are 22,500. So because these are available hours, our labor budget is going to be 22,500 hours. The cost per hour is £15. Given on the question, the third line, labor cost per hour is £15. So labor cost per hour is £15, and we can get the total labor budget, and that's in pounds. By multiplying these two values, 337,500 pounds. So that is the answer to C. The fourth one is the number and cost of small bookcases that need to be purchased from foreign supplier in order to overcome the shortage of. So the situation we have, we will produce as many as small, medium, and deluxe first, and then we will make small right at the end, because that's the only product which we can outsource. So we'll do that right at the end. First we need to produce our deluxe and medium. So let's redo our production budget. So we call it in-house production budget. In-house, because we have two options now: in-house production in-house production budget. So if you look at how many hours we need for in-house production, first of all, we are going to produce all of the deluxe, medium and deluxe. So 110 and 3008 we are going to produce units. These are going to take hours, in-house production, so units, hours per unit, 3 and 6. So the total hours in this case are so the total hours needed to fulfill the demand for medium and deluxe is 21,078 hours, and the rest, because our availability is 22,500, so the available hours for small would be total availability minus how much we have already used, so 1,422. Easy, small takes only 1 hour. That means the units we can produce are 1,422. So now I can put all three products together. So my total in-house production is going to be 1,010 and 3,008. So that's my total in-house production. Outsourcing requirement will be the demand for small, which is 2,005. So production budget minus what we can produce in-house, $583. The question tells us the cost of outsourcing, which is £75, and we can find out the total outsourcing budget by multiplying these two amounts. 43,725. So that's our answer to part D. The next is part E, which is a raw material budget, and the raw material budget is going to depend on how much we are going to produce. Now we have the values 1,422, 1,010 and 3,008, which should be below, not here. Control X. Cost per unit. There are no kgs, there's no opening or closing stock in this case, so that makes it easier for us. The cost of wood or raw material is given on the second row of the data table in the question. So the cost of wood, £14 for small, £28 for medium, and £16 for deluxe. So the total cost would be 14 multiplied by 1,422. You can find out the total for each product, and then we can do the total for the whole organization. So this is our answer to a raw material budget.